But first, the Lioness star Missy Kearns has spoken movingly to ITV News about the trauma of losing her baby in a miscarriage. We filmed with the Aston player just last month when she wanted to tell us all about her pregnancy and indeed her plans to return to top-flight football after giving birth. But sadly, Missy suddenly started feeling unwell that day and was taken to hospital where doctors diagnosed her with sepsis. She's now back training with her club and invited us back to highlight the issue so that others don't have to suffer in silence. In an emotional interview, she told our Midlands correspondent Stacey Foster how life changed for her, just like that.
Like, you was here on the day you see it, like, I was fine one minute and then the next minute I was like getting the shakes, wasn't I?
It's 5 weeks since England and Aston footballer Missy Kearns lost her baby. I was here that day to speak to her about her pregnancy announcement when she suddenly became ill.
When we were last here, you had a story that you wanted to tell. Now that story is very different.
It was one of the biggest shocks of my life. I thought it was just like a pregnancy symptom. I was 42 degrees, but I was shaking, and the doctor said to me, "Where's Liam?" We went to the hospital, and that's when we found out that straight away we lost the baby and that I'd got sepsis. I'd literally been doing Pilates and gym an hour before, and my whole life just changed like that.
The 25-year-old midfielder who made her Lioness's debut last year had not only lost her baby at 15 weeks, but she was herself desperately ill.
I'm so thankful for the doctors here at Villa, because if I was at home that day and I probably rung my mum saying, "Oh, I feel a bit like flu-ish symptoms," everyone would just say, "Have a sleep" or whatnot, and Jodie made me go to the hospital. They probably saved my life because I had sepsis and I wasn't even thinking about the sepsis. It was, I've lost my child.
What were those first few days like?
To have that crash and then suddenly you're not pregnant and your hormones change, your symptoms start to go like overnight. I think it's a different type of grief. I think a lot of people, if someone's going through a miscarriage, they don't know. People don't tell people that they've been through it. They suffer in silence. When it happened to me, I thought I was the only person I knew it had happened to, but turns out really close family to me it's happened to, and I didn't even know.
That is the thing, isn't it? You feel so alone in that moment, but then we suddenly realise that this is so common.
We'll never know the reason why. We do track periods, we track everything, we get scans, we get bloods done and stuff, but things like this you can't control, and if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. And I just think, like, you need to, it's sometimes you feel guilty. Is there something I've done? Is there something I didn't? But it's not, and I hope people out there who've been through it know that it's what's meant to be will be, and it happens for a reason, even though it's so hard to come to terms with that. There's nothing that you can do to stop it or prevent it.
How have you been coping with processing what has happened to you?
I wouldn't say I'm fully coping yet. There's days like today where I feel good, but yesterday I was upset all day because I got some news that the things we had to sort, and it just comes and goes in waves, and when you realise the plans that you had like coming up aren't the same plans no more, this is when it starts to hit you. And I think I'd say the past week or so is where it's hit me most, and I've been struggling. We've still got big processes we've got to go through, like taking the baby home and stuff, and that could be like difficult, will be difficult in itself. I get a bit anxious being around people in case like they ask me how I am and stuff, because I don't want to talk about it all the time.
Missy says she's been overwhelmed by the support from her teammates. Her focus is now on her physical recovery and getting back on the pitch, and she's looking ahead to the World Cup in Brazil.
I want to come back in pre-season and be back to the Missy Bow that everyone knows, who's smiling, happy, winding people up non-stop. And I think it's a big year next year, and my plan while I was pregnant was to make the World Cup squad, and that's not changed. I've realised like there's more to life than football, but now I'm going to enjoy every minute of football like it's my last, because it could have been.
Whatever Missy Kearns achieves for club and country in the years ahead, her bravery, speaking about baby loss, may have the greatest impact. Stacey Foster, ITV News, Birmingham.
On our website, Stacey has written in more depth about Missy Kearns' story, where you can also find details of where you can get support if you've been affected by a miscarriage or stillbirth.